there, and welcome back to Content with a Purpose. And today I want to talk about a growth strategy that's often being overlooked by small businesses and entrepreneurs, especially in the rush to keep up with every new social media trend. And I get it. The pressure to be everywhere, post daily, and maybe even go viral can feel like a second full time job. But there's the thing, chasing virality often distracts you from what actually drives business growth and your business. So instead of burning out on endless content creation, I recommend something much more strategic and just as powerful, collaborations, or as we call them, collabs. When you team up with the complementary brands, influencers, or other small businesses, you are not just making content. You are actually expanding your audience, building credibility, and creating authentic connections. Picture this: a local bakery pairing up with a coffee shop down the street for a morning bundle, or a fitness studio partnering with a nutritionist for a wellness challenge. And why not a therapist talking with a nutritionist about the latest weight loss injections? What are the odds, right? So these kind of partnerships spark creativity, drive engagement, and of course, bring in new loyal customers. In today's episode, we're going to talk about what social media collaborations actually are, three big benefits of collabs for small businesses, the different types of collaborations you can try, how to find the right partners because not everybody is your right fit, and how to create a strategy that actually works. So, if you're ready and without any delay, here we go. Okay, let's start. What are social media collaborations? Well, as the term suggests, a social media collaboration is when two or more parties, join forces to produce content or campaigns that benefit everyone involved. This can take many shapes, such as co creating posts, giveaways, shared events, webinars, where each collaborator contributes their unique strength. For small businesses, these partnerships are a powerful way to explore new audiences and leverage the reputation and following of their collaborator, making the journey toward greater visibility and engagement much efficient. So the beauty of collabs is that they let small businesses tap into each other audiences without spending big on ads. And they also feel more authentic because both parties are essentially endorsing one another, and that builds trust. Now, why these collaborations work? Well, let me tell you three key benefits. The first one is that they help you reach a wider audience. You get in front of your partner's followers, many of whom might not have heard of you otherwise. And second, they boost credibility. If a respected brand or influencer vouches for you, their audience is more likely to give you a chance. And third, they help build community. Join campaigns, events, or even just share content can create a space where your combined audiences feel connected. And that sense of belonging fuels loyalty with your clients and potential customers. So, what types of social media collaborations exist for small businesses? These collabs are incredibly beneficial for small businesses because they help to increase brand visibility, engage with new audiences, and they also build credibility. And let's talk about a little bit of SEO. Yes, I know I had to bring SEO in this. They show your expertise and your authoritativeness, and that it is something that you can do with hyperlinks one another, the guest blogs, and sharing links from one website to another website, and then brings more traffic to your business. And that is also part of the SEO strategy, having these collaborations. Now, back to the topic of what type of social media collaboration exists. Well, there are many, but we're going to focus right now on the ones that are the most common. And remember, when you are trying to look for any kind of collaboration in social media, you have to choose what fits your brand better and the goals, of course. So let's start. The most common, and everybody knows this, is the influencer. Everybody wants to hire an influencer because they have a lot of reach. They sponsor your service, they make reviews, they make testimonials, and it features your product. Now, the second one is content collaborations. They are other social media profiles that they co-create videos, blog posts, or podcasts like this one. And you can also do giveaway and contest with another profile, with another small business, and you do it together and you tag each other on your social media. There's another one that is very interesting, affiliate partnerships. Yes, it is part of the affiliate marketing. My old days when I started was in affiliate marketing. So you pay a commission for the sales driven by your partner. It is a way of monetizing your profile or your podcast or your video is having these affiliate partnerships. Another one is very fun is social media takeover, meaning that for one day, that profile is going to run your account and is going to do an entire day for you with their content and promoting you. So not only you're going to have a fresh view of what is happening of your product and service from a very different perspective, you're going to also reach another audience thanks to that profile. Another one, which is more common nowadays, is being a guest in podcasts or in blogs, meaning that you are being interviewed, you are the guest in some podcasts, that you share your values, you share audiences, you talk about your main categories in each other. So it is a win-win situation for both of you. They get a great topic that you're going to present, and you get the reach from their audience in the platform. Now, the digital events like webinars, live streams, workshop that you do together, you collaborate with somebody else. For example, you are an education consultant, you know how can you go into college. Another person knows how to do the standard testing, the SAT, ACT, and another one knows how to do financial scholarship. The three of you get together, and that's how each one of you share their expertise, create a great webinar, bim, bada, boom. You have a great audience, and that's how you share those events. Now, this sounds very cool, right? But how do you find the right partners? Well, that is something that I want to be as blunt as possible because this is where your entire strategy comes from. When you want to have a social media collaboration, the first thing you had to do is to consider creating a short list based on a very thoughtful assessment of shared interest of who you are going to partner with. And you have to begin by attending industries, events, and networking before you reach out, because you look at the person, you look at what they do, they have a great follower, they have a great audience, and you want to go and talk to them, you have to engage with their content. You have to get to know them and build a genuine connection. Look for alignment in audience and your style and your goals. And also try to understand what they are bringing to the table. For example, you might have a great following and they don't. So it has to be a little bit balanced equation of how both of you are going to get together. Both of you are going to win from this situation, right? I have 7 steps that will help you identify and select the best partners for your small business. I'm just going to name them because you can go to the blog and you can read them over there. So first you have to define your goals as usual. You identify who can be your potential partner. You have to evaluate compatibility. As I said, values, goals, you have to check their record. If they already made previous collaborations, look at them. How was engagement? How was content that they produced? If they have any testimonials, just look at it, review it, and then you reach out with a very clear and compelling proposal to explain what are you offering, how did you see yourself in this collaboration, how both of you can have a win-win situation, right? And it is hard at the beginning, but you can start small. Start with a small project, with a small trial. You can start with people you already know, some friends in the networking that you already know might be the same, even though they are in the same niche or in the same industry. Not everybody can do the same things that you do. So you can collaborate with someone that brings something new to the table, even though you're talking about the same topic. But that's how you are going to be able to start small. Okay, consider later on as it goes, as you get more experience, then you start going and expand your network and expand your collaboration types. Or like me, I literally go and look for small businesses under a certain guidelines and I look at their content, I look at who they are, and then I send them an invitation. We have an interview, and after that, if we get together, we like each other how we talk, and because I blab a lot and I always ramble, and if they ramble the same as me, and we get a good value proposition in the collaboration, then we hit it up and that's it. And we start doing our interviews. Now, that's how I do it. But I will tell you a more structured way to do this, right? So, how can you approach these potential partners before babbling so much like me? Well, before sending an email, as I said before, create your media kit, create your proposal. What are you offering and how that will align with their goals and this project that you have together? So think about it more like in a partnership of a win-win situation. What are both of you winning? So that's the first thing to do. Create your media kit, create a proposal, then personalize your outreach. Just don't send a simple email like, hey, I saw your profile and I want to have a collab with you. The end. No, be a little more thorough. Address why do you want to have this guest interview? What do you want to go into that podcast? Why do you admire them? Or, hey, I think my topic will be great for your audience because, and then because reason one, two, three, and show them that you have interest in collaborating with them. And that's how you're going to share that outreach. Then if you have connections that they know or that they have this profile or they know each other, say, hey, my friend or my associate, or I heard about you in this networking event and I really want to be there. Or maybe, hey, did you know this person, this small business owner? I know that LinkedIn, for example, I know that you are a connection with them. Can you give me a quick intro? That I will appreciate. Believe me, it works marvelously if you know someone that knows someone. So use that intro and that actually helped you a lot. Now, also be clear, be concise, and showcase if you already had collaborations before. Show them, hey, I'm not that new, I'm not a rookie. And maybe you are not in a podcast, maybe you are not invited into a blog, but maybe you have done webinar, maybe you have done workshop, maybe you have done trainings, maybe you were a teacher, maybe you were a lecturer in some kind of university. So demonstrate your expertise and what are you bringing into the panel, and that you are a very reliable and capable partner that brings something very good to the equation, to this collaboration. Okay, so that is basically how I would recommend for you to approach it and how to create these partnerships. Now, let's go and talk strategy. You have all this creation, you have all these ideas. However, if you don't have strategy on this collaboration, you're going to have a lot of fun making these. You're going to also be stressed because it's stressful making all the production, and you're not going to have the result that you want. So, in order for you to have a result and a conversion rate, or that you achieve your goals, your strategy needs to have two parts. First, the brand goals, and second, how to monitor these results. The first one is, let's start with the brand goals. We're talking about creating a content calendar that both of you, first, you as your business goal is, what is the product or service that I want to push? What is my main goal? Maybe you're going to have a webinar. Maybe you have an online class that you want to sell. Maybe you want to have more signups to your group coaching. So what is exactly what you want? That is the first thing you want to put in your goals. Then you're going to say, I want to create a content calendar that I'm going to push this. So I'm going to have this collaboration with this person. What kind of material, what kind of reels, videos, or blogs, and other audios and other kind of media I'm going to do to push this collaboration forward. That is only going to be to help me get more leads, get more signups, more downloads from my podcast, to get more views on my free webinar, whatever the goal is. So you have to create that content calendar and share it with the person that you are collaborating with, because both of you need to be on the same channel. Okay. Both of you are going to have the goal to get this collaboration. Your collaboration partner is going to have their own goals. Maybe they want signups or maybe they have something else. Both of you have the same strategy. Both of you need to create a schedule for creating and posting collaborative content. That means that if you post, that person posts, you tag, they tag, you engage, they engage. It is not a one-way street. It is a dual or sometimes three partnership, triple partnership that all people involved have to do. Okay, that's the most important part. So you create this content calendar that will ensure consistency and coordination. And of course, it also allows you to plan promotional activities and responsibilities. Who is responsible on doing what? And how are you going to make it happen? So all these need to be written down on paper or on computer, on your Notion calendar, whatever you do. Okay. Now you're going to put the PDF, the videos, the audios, the teasers, the behind the scenes, the content. All those stories need to be scheduled and need to be planned. It is not just like, oh, today we're going to record something, let's do something. No, everything has to be planned. Whatever looks out there so natural behind the scene, believe me, is hours of production back here for us in marketing. So you have to do that, okay? I have a question for you. Is your online presence helping you grow or holding you back? You know, your website and all your social media should be working for you, attracting the right people, building trust, and getting them to take action. But if your growth feels slow, stuck, or your message isn't landing, I think it's time for a second look. Your digital presence is often your first impression, and it only takes a few seconds for someone just to swipe left. So, if your brand feels unclear, inconsistent, outdated, I think it's time for you to get an audit. So, there's a link in the description, and we're also doing an audit. While we will be reviewing your website, your social media profiles, and I'll give you a feedback on your brand message, your identity, your call to actions, and recommendation that will boost your visibility, your trust, and your conversion. It's free. Are you ready for the clarity on what's working and what's not? Fill out the form with a link, and you will receive my recommendations. Now, back to the episode. Now, you're doing that content planning. And now let's talk about the second part of the strategy. It is literally making sure that your goals were achieved, that you achieve whatever you want. That means, of course, on social media, we're going to talk about engagement, which is likes, comments, shares, mentions. And for small businesses, don't stay in that area. It is a good part for positioning your brand and to measure how the engagement is. But we, as small businesses, we don't eat likes. We don't pay our bills with likes. Okay. What we do is we have to convert those likes into revenue. And for doing that, we need to monitor those engagement that it goes all the way down to that conversion, to that sign up, to that sale, to that closing, whatever it is. Okay, so you monitor your website traffic, your conversion, your discount, your referral links, your customer feedback, your testimonials. You track those. You use your Google Analytics. If you have a SEMrush account, whatever account you have in order to track those, use it. You're going to analyze your traffic. And after that, you're going to evaluate, hey, this is going very well. The campaign actually works. And you're going to check how much each one of these leads is going to give you as revenue. You have to make a measurement. You have to understand each one of these leads means X amount of money for me. Why? Because it's your time. When you're a small business, we as owners usually don't measure our time in money. But believe me, the moment when you have to hire someone to do your little piece, you have to pay them. So you have to put that money into equation. So you have to, since the beginning, start creating how much money do you put and how much do you invest and how much is going to convert. That's part of the metrics. Now, that is basically how the strategy works. In summary, this power of social media collaboration, it is an untapped mine for many small businesses because it requires a lot of planning. It requires going out of your comfort zone to go and reach out to someone to collaborate that it might not be at the beginning immediate result. However, the more you start doing these collaborations, you position your brand, you show your expertise, you get in front of new audiences, you showcase your brand, your products, your services to a lot of new people that didn't know you before. And believe me, you can do this organically. And of course, if you have a little bit of budget, both of you, the partner, your collaboration, and you can put ads. And believe me, whatever money you put is going to come 3 times more on revenue. Why? Because you're going to reach more people. And that is the power of collaboration in small businesses. So instead of chasing viral trends, focusing on partnerships with brands that are complementary to you, with influencers that are aligned to your values, or some other small businesses will unlock new audiences, will spark engagement, and will attract new customers. And of course, they will be more loyal clients. Why? Because they are receiving all the value that you're providing by finding new partners and getting more of your knowledge, more of your content in front of your audience and your potential clients, right? So, for small businesses who wants to turn visibility into revenue, social media collabs are not just a nice to have. It is a strategic move that gives you sustainable growth. So, if you want to start taking the next step to turn visibility into revenue, download my free resource. Yes, it's your collaboration blueprint, and start doing your collabs. And if today's episode brings something of value to you, please share it with other entrepreneurs and business owners that might need it too. Remember, we're here to collaborate and make the most. Also, leave a quick review. It means the world to me. So, until next time, and remember, your voice matters more than you know.